Welcome everyone to Unit 7 in our grammar series. Today we're going to talk about narrative tenses, in particular the past perfect continuous tense. You can follow along with the free workbook. The free grammar workbook can be downloadable and you can follow along. So please read the introduction with me. We'll look at the key rules and then do some examples. So when you are telling a story about the past, we often use different tenses altogether. Why? Because we want to show the sequence of events. And there's one important tense that we use called the past perfect continuous. And that tense describes an action that was happening before another moment in the past. So let's just jump on the actual whiteboard and then we'll also do some work on the virtual whiteboard. So if this is my timeline, now we're right here. We are talking about something that happened in the past. It was one event, and that happened before another event, but they are both in the past. So that's why we would use the past perfect continuous tense. Now, let's look at some of the key rules. So please move down to the key rules section. So how do we form the past perfect continuous tense? We have to have had, we always have had, plus been, plus a verb that has ing. So had, been, and a verb with ing. This ing lets us know we're in the continuous tense. This had, not have, this had lets us know we are in the past. Had, been, the verb, and ing. And remember, we use it to describe something that was happening for a period of time before something else. So the example in the workbook is she had been studying for 2 hours before the test started. So looking at our timeline, she had been studying for a period of time for 2 hours. She'd been studying here for 2 hours before the test started. So she'd been studying here for 2 hours and then the test started. So that's why we would have to be in the past perfect continuous tense. Another example in the workbook, they were all tired because they had been working all day. There's also a tip there. Do you notice the tip? Often used to explain the reason for something in the past. That's why we use it with storytelling, because in storytelling, we're explaining things, and that's why we often will use the past perfect continuous tense. I was doing this before this. Let's look at some examples. So let's jump on the virtual whiteboard now. Okay, let's do number 1. Fill in the blanks with the correct form of the verb, past perfect continuous. Number 1, she will use the verb study for 3 hours before dinner. So what do we need first? We need had. Then what's the next thing we need? Been. And then what do we do to the verb for the past perfect continuous? So that continuous tense is always the ing at the end. So we will say studying. She had been studying for 3 hours before dinner. See if you can do B and C in the same format. Now let's go to 2, complete the sentences with your own ideas. He was tired because he had been, and what could you say? Why was he tired? Maybe I can use the word he had been running. All right, so we have had, been, and the ing, which tells us we're in the continuous tense. We also have number 3, a mini dialogue. You can do that on your own. We have the answer keys for you. Just download the free grammar workbook and you can check yourself. If you have any questions, just put it down in the comments.